I mean, it's going to be very costly for people to take advantage of this country. They can't come in and steal our money and steal our jobs and take our factories and take our businesses and expect not to be punished. And they're being punished by tariffs. Tomorrow, tariffs 25% on Canada and 25% on Mexico, and that'll start. So they're going to have a tariff. So what they have to do is build their car plants, frankly, and other things in the United States.
On the tariffs, is there any room left for Canada and Mexico to make a deal before midnight? And should we expect those Chinese tariffs, the extra 10%, to take
no room left for Mexico or for Canada? No, the tariffs, they're all set. They go into effect tomorrow.
Mr. President, just to follow up on my colleague's question.
And just so you understand, vast amounts of fentanyl have poured into our country from Mexico. And as you know, also from China, where it goes to Mexico and goes to Canada. And China also had an additional 10, so it's 10 plus 10. And it comes in from Canada and it comes in from Mexico. And that's a very important thing to say. Yeah, please.
20% on China now. How high are you willing to go against China?
Well, I can't say. It depends on what they do with their currency. It depends on what they do in terms of a retaliation with some kind of an economic retaliation, which I don't think they're going to retaliate too much. Hey, look, the United States has been taken advantage of for 40 years. The United States has been a laughingstock for years and years. That's why this gentleman is built in Taiwan instead of building here. It would have been better if he built here. If we had a president that knew what they were doing, and we had a lot of them very bad on trade. Look, I'm a huge fan of Ronald Reagan, but he was bad on trade, very bad on trade. He allowed a lot of people, a lot of businesses to be taken. So I say that with due respect because he was so great on other things, but he was bad on trade. Say it.
Have you spoken with President Xi about this?
I don't want to tell you that. Thank you very much, everybody. I mean, it's going to be very costly.
Everything, including cut off their energy, with a smile on my face. Annihilate Ontario. I will do everything, including cut off their energy, with a smile on my face. So, and I'm encouraging every other province to do the same. Quebec, Manitoba, BC, we all have to act in unison. Out east, they rely on our energy. They need to feel the pain. They want to come at us hard. We're going to come back twice as hard. Annihilate Ontario. I will do
very quickly. China issued this brazen warning overnight.
No matter if they have 5 eyes or 10 eyes, if they dare harm China's sovereignty, security and development interests, beware of their eyes being poked out and blinded.
It's targeted at the Five Eyes alliance made up of Australia, the United Kingdom, the United States, Canada and New Zealand.
Point. Australia is part of the nuclear-free South Pacific. And I think that this is actually a great value to the people in Australia. Now, armed with nuclear submarine to be produced locally in Australia, unfortunately, Australia and the Australians will lose that privileged status. Meaning, armed with nuclear submarine, Australia itself will be a target for possible nuclear attacks in the future.
Can I just stop you there? Can I just stop you there, Victor? Australia will be a target for nuclear attack from whom?
You do not need to know whom it will be, but as a logic, no one wants to target any nuclear-free zone, which now includes Australia.
Australia has said it will not be carrying nuclear weapons. These are nuclear-powered submarines, as indeed China has. But we're not talking about nuclear weapons. So how is it a target?
Listen, do you really believe you can trust what Washington or even what London say? I would say the watershed moment will be if Australia is armed with nuclear submarines to be locally produced in Australia. Australia will lose that privilege of not being targeted with nuclear weapons by other countries. And that should be the wake-up call for the Australians, the 23 million Australians. Do you really want to be a target in a possible nuclear war, or you want to be free from nuclear menace going forward?
It is extraordinary, isn't it, that you're talking about nuclear war and attacks on Australia. Now, do you believe what you're saying echoes what the Chinese government believes as well, that Australia is a target?
Listen, as a general policy, Australia is not targeted with nuclear warheads right now. Why? Because it is part of the nuclear-free South Pacific region. Now, if the Australian governments want to deprive that privilege from the Australian people by going nuclear with nuclear submarines, that's the wake-up moment for the 23 million Australian. They will lose that privilege of not being targeted with nuclear warheads going forward. As simple as that. Anything you do will have a consequence. This is the most profound consequence. And Australia and the United States and United Kingdom are being accused of violating the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, which is a gross violation of international law, and it will again have consequences.
Shalom, shalom. First off, give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Give double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, all the men and the women who follow. This is the brother Kratazah from the GMS Nebraska camp coming back at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. This one being entitled The Third Woe Cometh Quickly. All right, we just watched these three videos. The first one,
For people.
Yeah, Trump just speaking about how the
To take advantage of the
the taxes and the tariffs are going to take place here starting tomorrow. Well, I guess that's today now, March 4th. 25% extra on Canada, 25% extra on Mexico, so on and so forth with China. Then
everything.
The Canadian Premier, all right, Doug Ford, saying that they're going to throw the kitchen sink at America and cut off power, to the East Coast. So all this is ratcheting up war, and then China is not playing no games. They say, hey, if Australia want to play these games with the UK and the US and Canada and all these New Zealand, if they want to be part of the population who is targeted with nuclear war, then they can lose their status. Being straight up and down with them. Which they have a right to do that. If you're not a nuclear nation, then you shouldn't be targeted with nuclear weapons. But when you put that onto yourself, that you may or may not have them, well, you're just making yourself a target. All right? So, that's why I'm saying Revelation 11 and 14, the second woe was past and the third woe cometh quickly. These are the times that we're in. This third world war is getting ratcheted up. And let's get this real quick from the AI overview. Says controlling goods and services lead to war. Yes, controlling access to essential goods and services can significantly contribute to war. It can create power imbalances, fuel resentment, and provide a strong motivation for conflict, particularly when nations or groups are desperate to secure vital resources like food, water, or energy, leading to what's often called a resource war. And that's what's going on right now, a resource war with Trump, raising these tariffs on these different countries, trying to, as he said, make America great again, bring back the aspects of American society that made it rich. So he thinks he's doing the right thing by raising taxes on these different countries, but he's really just, stirring the pot, and this is the Lord working on his mind, allowing him to think that he's doing the right thing to, strengthen America, but he's playing into the Lord's hand. Slovakia. Y'all bear with me. Let's get this real quick. So cyber warfare, right? Cyber warfare comes before physical warfare, right? So yes, in modern warfare, cyber warfare is increasingly seen as a precursor to physical warfare, right? Often used to disrupt enemy systems, gather intelligence, and weaken their defenses before a kinetic attack is launched, right? Before an actual physical attack is launched, these cyber attacks are going on constantly. Constantly. So let's get this article that I got, excuse me, from CNN from March 3rd. It says U.S. suspends offensive, excuse me, U.S. suspends offensive cyber operations against Russia. Our senior U.S. official says. So, in order for them to stop a cyber operation against Russia, they had to have started a cyber operation against Russia, right? Proving, just like I said, that the cyber warfare is already going on. So you have the resource warfare and the cyber warfare. You obviously have the war with Ukraine and Russia. All these different conflicts going on around the world. All this is setting up the World Wars 3. Right? People are choosing sides. You see, Australia got a choice to make. Do you want to be with, Mother Britain and Daddy America, or do you want to stay, in that South Pacific, untargeted zone? Because China is basically saying, if you want to get froggy and leap, he'll I don't even know. If Australia want to get froggy and leap, he's ready to jump up and catch you. All right, China will definitely have no issue shooting missiles on Australia if need be. All right, to protect their own. So, these these countries have a choice and a decision to make. All right, so let's get into a little bit of this article. It says the U.S. has suspended operations and planning for offensive cyber operations against Russia, a senior U.S. official told CNN. The suspension is a major blow, the official said, especially since planning for such operations takes time and research to carry out. The concern, the official said, is that the pause on offensive cyber operations against Russia will make the U.S. more vulnerable to potential cyber attacks from Moscow, right? So from Russia, which has a formidable cadre of hackers capable of disrupting U.S. critical infrastructure and collecting sensitive intelligence. So they're scared that they're stopping. They were doing some snooping, right? But they're saying, from what they're saying, we're stopping. We're not going to snoop on you. Well, that's not going to stop Russia from snooping on the U.S. Having double agents, having let's go back. Cyber operations can be used to infiltrate enemy networks, steal critical intelligence, providing valuable information for planning physical attacks. So you're just giving Russia the leg up to do all of this, and as I said, they got some real deal hackers over there. So this cyber war has already started. This trade war is beginning to start. All right, this 99 versus the 1%, that war's been carrying over since, the 2020s, I'll say, since the early 2020s. So all of this is leading to World War III. All right, and everyone turning their back on America. All right. So while America's leaving itself open, like I said, for these cyber attacks, they're also pushing away the world, starting, with this guy first. They're pushing away the world with their resource war. All right. So let's just get a couple of these scriptures and, we'll close it out. This is Revelation 17 and 16. It says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire." Right? Because the 10 horns which are going to hate the whore, that represents these NATO countries, all right, who are going to turn their back on America. We see what's going on right now. We see how this guy, Canada's a NATO country, and they're in a trade war right now. Let's listen to what this guy said one more time.
Including cut off their energy with a smile on my face.
He said, "I cut off your energy with a smile on my face." Think he playing? Did this look like a guy who was playing? Like Heat Miser.
So, and I'm encouraging every other province to do the same. Quebec, Manitoba, BC, we all have to act in unison. Out east, they rely on our energy. They need to feel the pain. They want to come at us hard. We're going to come back twice as hard. Annihilate.
You want to come at us hard, we're going to come back twice as hard. So, hey, he's ready to fight fire with fire. These countries are beginning to make that turn. All right, this is Obadiah verse 7. It says, "All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. All the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee." All right, so these allies, these once upon a time were friends, are no longer your friends. They're no longer your allies. All right, so all these countries are being alienated in one way or another by the Trump administration. So guess what? There's going to be hell to pay. Somebody's got to pay the piper. It says, the men that were at peace with thee had deceived thee and prevailed against thee, that they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Right? So these countries are preparing to lay that wound. Right now, they're, America is, how can you put this? Like too big to fail, so to speak, But the groundwork is being laid right now. Right now, America has a lot of pull and a lot of say-so and a lot of things around the world. But as these countries grow more and more resentful to America, you're going to see them pulling America's card. Like, hey, look, no, we don't agree to that. Or maybe it's financial. No, you can't have that. So these countries aren't just sitting around and allowing America to just do whatever it wants to do all willy-nilly, which is all going to lead up to, the great destruction of America, which Jeremiah 50 and 14 says, "Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrow." Right? So shoot at her, spare no arrow. These arrows are speaking about the nuclear missiles. Going back to what the Chinese guy was saying. See if we can pull it back up.
Threat could be getting very real very quickly. China issued this brazen warning overnight.
No matter if they have 5 eyes or 10 eyes, if they dare harm China's sovereignty, security and development interests, beware of their eyes being poked out and blinded.
It's targeted at the Five Eyes alliance made up of Australia, the United Kingdom, the United States, Canada and New Zealand.
Point. Australia is part of the nuclear-free South Pacific. And I think that this is actually a great value to the people in Australia. Now, armed with nuclear submarine to be produced locally in Australia, unfortunately, Australia and the Australians will lose that privileged status.
Hey, he said y'all will lose that privileged status, all right, of being pretty much exempt from nuclear war if you got a fucking submarine that can hold a nuclear warhead. Oh, well, we ain't put one in. That's like, who plays with a loaded gun? You know, who goes into a bank and brandishes a toy gun? No, people are gonna think it's real, and you're gonna get dealt with like it was real, and you're gonna get a sentence that you deserve like it was real as well. All right, and what sentence does America deserve? You know, for all its wrongdoing, all its the hatred and disrespect of the Most High, and you know His people. What judgment is America going to get? All right, as we said, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows. Why? Why is all her confederacy, all her neighbors, all right, the 10 horns, why are all these people going to put themselves in array against Babylon and shoot at her and spare no arrow? Well, it's because she has sinned against the Lord Yahweh, right? You touch the apple of the Lord's eye, all right? You're fucking up the whole world, all right? You remove the landmarks. You're doing all kind of wickedness. All right. So the Lord's just gonna get rid of you. All right, on this side. All right. So if you ain't right in the spirit, all right, then it's gonna end bad for you here in America. All right. We need to be doing what's conducive to salvation, whatever that means for you in particular in your life. You know, if you're a male, that may mean going on the highways, doing lessons and videos, you know, attending class and being a brother, you know, but it may not mean that for you. It may mean maybe you're a woman, you know, it may mean just, you know, keeping order within the household, making sure that, you know, the man is taken care of, the kids are taken care of, and you're taken care of, you know. It can mean different things for different people. Just know what your role is and execute to the highest ability that you have. The Most High is giving you. So that's all I really wanted to get on with in this lesson. So Lord's will, this is edifying, and we give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Give double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, all the men and the women who follow. Shalom.